What was banned at your school and why? Buckets. They banned us from carrying backpacks between classes. So a couple guys started carrying around their textbooks in buckets. Edit. The reason given was it was a security safety issue. We could still bring backpacks to our school, but they had to be stored in our lockers by the start of first block. Administrators. Banning the symptoms, not the cause. After someone put Halo C on the network drive, and it started to rival Microsoft Word for most used software in the building, they had to ban that. Unfortunately, the person responsible for making the announcement had the computer literacy of a mountain goat. So the official rule was something like, don't be downloading Halo websites on the computers. Cooking class. Superintendent decided that, I quote verbatim, cooking is an impractical art. Today, everyone can just buy pre-made meals and no one has time to cook, or they could be smart and hire a personal chef. This person makes over $150K a year after taxes and is in charge of 3 schools in the district, totaling 3,000 students. Edit. This is high school, by the way. By that logic, we should probably ban math too. Everyone can just buy a calculator, or be smart and hire someone else to do it for them. Dumbus. Google. Our high school had some kind of contract with this really tight school appropriate search engine called NetTrekker. They banned using Google in school because it wasn't scholarly. Only NetTrekker was allowed. They tried extending this to beyond the school. They wanted us to use only NetTrekker for internet searches outside school, and send home a pamphlet about internet rules outside the classroom. They said that students shouldn't have Android phones. I got a referral for having a Moto X smartphone. This was in 2015. I remember that tie engine. My college tried to make us use it. Even blocked Google on the school network. The thing is, this was an engineering school, including software engineering. 2 hours after it was blocked, a script was made to get around it. Edit. Realized I wasn't clear enough on the time frame. It was made and distributed to the entire campus in about 2 hours. In likelihood. Yo-yos. Kids turned them into flailing weapons. Some kid nearly lost an eye. 2-way hallways. Sounds crazy, right? The principal and his staff thought that it'd be a smart idea to have 1-way hallways in order to cut down student traffic. If your locker was right around the corner, and you had to go against the traffic in order to get there, you had to walk all the way around. If you passed your class on the way to your locker, you had to make 2 circles around the building. This significantly increased tardiness and write-ups. Terrible idea. Looney Tunes characters on your clothes. It was the 90s at a high school. Bionicles because we would smash them together and whoever's helmet fell off first was the loser. So many bloody hands in grade 4. Any liquid not in a clear plastic bottle. And then the only liquid we could have was water. The ban was because a girl in my grade got caught with vodka in a clear plastic bottle. Everyone in my school never understood the ban because vodka is clear like water, and the only reason the teacher even caught onto her was because another dumbass kid was joking around about alcohol and the idiot with the vodka threw the bottle away in the garbage next to the teacher's desk. Edit. Went to a school in northern MN. Edit V2. Since people keep asking, went to a school in East Grand Forks. Sack whacking. Guys would hit each other in the balls as a prank or whatever. Apparently it was causing a big enough problem that the entire school had to attend an assembly where the deputy principal informed everyone. There has been a large outbreak of full stop sack whacking. Full stop. Entire school was laughing so hard. Even the deputy, who was a really strict and uptight guy, started laughing his ass off. We were also banned from playing with large balls, basketballs, soccer balls, at the same assembly. That was also received very well. My school would report you to the police if you were caught watching Shrek is Love. Shrek is Life. Happened twice in the year it was big. Have no idea why, but they just didn't like it. Weren't allowed to dye our hair unnatural colors. Banned hoop earrings and running like Naruto because a guy did that and fell down the stairs and broke his arm. Edit. Thank you for the gold, kind stranger. The infamous anime run. Steel rulers. Some guy bashed the out of a bird with it. The word buckle, I kid you not. Back in grade 7, a few kids in one class had his word on a spelling test and thought it would be funny to just shout it out randomly. The teachers, believing it to be a code word for something more sinister, decided to outright ban the word across the school. Needless to say, the faculty became the brunt of many jokes both from students and their parents. I like this one. Perfectly showcases the near insanity of some school boards. Edit. Or principals. Or whoever is making these rules. Edit. I spend too much time breaking rules and not enough time learning to spell. Edit. I very good grammar too. We were banned from the gym at lunch. Used to go in the gym, shoot hoops, etc. Eventually we were playing dodgeball with basketballs. Errant throw broke the fire alarm and set it off for the whole school. We had to stay in the cafeteria after that. Yogurt eating contests were immediately banned at my high school when an overzealous football lineman vomited about a quart of yogurt and then attempted to re-eat the yogurt to win the contest. Domino vomit effect throughout the cafeteria. Dark jeans. Their logic was that when we'd stand against white walls resting against them, the color of the jeans would rub off. I have never wanted to wear red or green jeans and then go and rub my butt all over a school's walls so badly before. Blankets. It was the South and they keep the AC on too high because it's so freaking hot outside. Girls would wear shorts to be cool when outside, but they'd get too cold inside. Thus, the blankets to keep their legs warm in class. Of course, blankets are opaque, and they were already being used to cover up legs. Well, if a girl started sharing a blanket with a guy, yeah, things could get a little handsy. Hey, stop vigorously jacking that guy off under that blanket, Mario Ozawa. T-ball was banned for a long time because a kid hit the ball and threw the bat to the side so he could run the bases. It hit a pregnant teacher in the stomach and she had a miscarriage. Holy. That turned grim fast. Google. They wanted to ban Gmail and someone kept finding alternate IPs and domains. Cafeteria trays. The events that led to this started with a fight breaking out in the cafeteria where one person stabbed the other with a fork. The next day metal forks had been banned and we were only given plastic sporks to eat with. A couple of weeks later another fight broke out in the cafeteria and a group of 3 students beat another student using the cafeteria trays. After that we had styrofoam trays in the cafeteria. Shoulder knocked someone out with a textbook. Earrings on guys. This turned into a huge thing with students doing walkouts and yelling at teachers. It really was a stupid rule and as far as I know was ultimately dropped. Trench coats after Columbine. They tried to ban chains and spikes at my school, but that didn't work out so well. The Captain Underpants series. In elementary school, I begged my dad for some money for the book fair. He likes the idea of me reading, and gave me some bills on the condition I buy books and not the toys, posters, etc. found at book fairs. I came home with a handful of comics and graphic novels. I remember Captain Underpants being one. He scolded me, saying that money was explicitly to be used on books. I was grounded and he took them away and I cried in my room. While grounded, he leafed through them and saw the literary value. He also started to see it was just presented in a more digestible form for children. He came in, apologized, took me out for ice cream, and asked me to read them to him. I love my dad. Shag bands. These plastic rubber bracelet things. Basically, if someone broke your shag band you supposedly had to have sex with them. A natural law according to some, but never, to my knowledge, ever enforced. The school got wind of it and became horrified that a bunch of 13-years would ever think something like this reasonable and came down on us with an iron fist. I vividly remember one teacher scornfully say so-called shag bands. And then spit in disgust. It was hilarious. Cell phones. Someone decided to make an Instagram account consisting solely of PRN with teachers' heads photoshopped onto the PRN stars' bodies. Hair color. Colored bras. Men with long hair. Colored bras. Transparent it is. Candy canes. Apparently, they were a safety hazard because you could suck on them and sharpen them into a point, which could then theoretically be used to stab somebody. Most of our school suspected that it was simply a way of getting the Ugly Christmas Sweater Club, a group of guys who wore ugly sweaters to school and roamed the hallways handing out candy canes while playing Christmas music, in trouble. It was by far the dumbest thing to ever happen at my high school. Selling candy. People at my school did this. The school banned it and it became like a black market. They would go to a corner shop and buy a load of soda, candy and that sort of thing and sell bags of it. Pens. I'm not joking. Kids would buy somewhat fancy pens and then there would be a bunch of trading. Lem snag that uni ball. I'll give you 2 Pilots G2s, and commotion. I remember there was a kid that everyone envied because of his Mont Blanc pen. Pretty soon, the school just banned using any outside pens and issued 2 of those crappy big round sticks. We were crafty though and started to replace the ink cartridges with those from our fancier pens. So yeah, it was basically prohibition. In middle school they banned the jerseys of a Japanese baseball player on the Chicago Cubs. The vice principal believed that Fukudome was actually a joke. And he believed it said you. Do me. True story. Why Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic. And Pokemon cards. Some of the kids at school started trading and selling them during lunchtime. But it got so bad as the kids were actually selling stolen cards they got from other students. My friend was swirlied one morning for his deck and later that day he saw a kid with his Dark Magician card. He knew it was his because he had a tendency to chew the ends of his cards. The teachers put a stop to all of it, including playing the card games and bringing them on school grounds. Had this little Bible study group that would meet during lunch once a week. It grew in size really fast so some of the parents of the kids started bringing homemade lunches to give to the kids that attended. Anyone was accepted to join. They never ran out of food. And it was free so kids that didn't have money or wasn't on the food plan could eat something other than straight junk food. It was stuff like sandwiches and chips but still better than the Thai cafeteria food. After a while though, the group grew a little too big to the point where the school board found out about it and shut down the parents bringing lunches for the attendance because it was lowering the amount of kids buying from the cafeteria. I'm ridiculous. After that, they instituted a rule that parents couldn't bring lunches to kids anymore. The overall reasoning was it lowered the cafeteria profits. If you didn't have money or a lunch, you were out of luck. Mini sticks. We weren't allowed to yell Kobe anymore. This was mostly because of kids shooting balled up paper into trash cans and missing terribly. TL. DR. Stoners outsmart administration. Drug dogs. They started bringing in drug dogs in my sophomore year. They would smell the lockers and cars and if one hit on your locker or car you had to go open them up and let the school search it. By my junior year a group of stoners had enough of it. They took bong water and put it in a bunch of spray bottles and sprayed it on all the lockers and cars they could. My school had about 1,400 kids in it. It took one time of having 300 plus kids pulled out of class to have the lockers searched to make them rethink the policy. What really got the parents to force the school to stop though was the cars. When drug dogs hit on a spot they kind of go nuts. Imagine 25 plus cars getting a hit and having dogs scratch the hell out of the paint for a search that found nothing. Many parents didn't push too hard but some were demanding that the school pay for the damage. So no more drug dogs. Well played by the stoners. Aerosol cans because we would put them in the toilet. Talking at lunch. Why? Really, I just don't know. KFC. Due to one boy constantly bringing it in. He won the biggest fan of KFC award at the end of school. My school finally banned the freshman auction after they realized it resembled slavery. Carrying backpacks in class caused terrorism. Rubber bands. People used to fold paper into little triangles called hornets and shoot them at rivals. Sweaters with zippers. A new progressive principal found a correlation between those dang hoodlums and zippered sweaters. Obviously everyone thought she was insane. So we all put tape over our zippers. Took a week to get back to normal. Beyblade. We used to flip bin lids over to act as arenas for our battles. One lad wanted to watch a battle more closely and got hit in the face when the Beyblades hit each other. Busted his lip. No more angry. Spiky spinning tops. Sick. Connor. Any type of coin. Seriously. High school. About 7 or 8 years ago I was a freshman eating lunch. And then heard some screaming and some kid being rushed out of the cafeteria. Turns out, some kid whipped a quarter across the cafeteria. And it flew kind of like a frisbee right into this kid's eye and sliced it. Which completely tore it open. The principal talked to us all about it in the auditorium. He had to have surgery, obviously, and I think the victim's family sued the aggressor's family. I still remember I was eating curly fries and a slice of pizza that day. Wrecked. Edit. Oh boy. Obligatory most upvoted comment speech. Thanks guys. I think Altoids were in middle school. After one wise guy put a turd in one of the cans and went up to a vice principal and asked him if he wanted a mint. Crystal meth. Chem teacher was getting uppity. Soccer balls for playing ball tag. They let us play with foam balls but they were like throwing popcorn into the wind. Thus sewer ball was born. The slapping game. Basically what you had to do was slap the back of someone's neck as hard as you could and try to leave a red mark. Apparently some people got knocked out so they banned it. Playing with any sort of ball-like object in class. Because we always took it way too far and it was more of a brawl than a soccer game. Also magic cards because, and I love this reason, it excluded people who didn't have magic cards. Tights and stockings at my all-girls prep school. They were a required part of our uniform until the faculty found out about a nifty study habit that was getting pretty popular. Writing crib notes on your thigh under the nylons. Then during tests you just had to cross your legs. Maybe pull up the waistband. And the stocking would stretch just enough so you could see your notes. Saying what are those? One of the kids did it to the principal every time they saw her. Yoga pants for women because it distracted all the guys. Boy was their face red when the next day 60% of the guys came in wearing yoga pants. Half without any underwear. I have a cousin in high school that just recently banned leggings for girls. Because apparently the male teachers could not concentrate. The word buddy. Apparently it was too exclusive, middle school. So it got banned. Then more got banned. Like pal and friend because they were too exclusive as well. My history teacher summed it up by saying, any adjective that describes a single person is going to be exclusive. They can't just ban the dictionary. He was the only sane person. Edit. Also card games because people could feel excluded if they didn't own any cards. Niqab. Hijab. Burqa. Christian cross. Kippah or any religious sign. Because in France, school is a religion-free zone. We learn science and knowledge. The rest must stay at the door. No fornication with fowl or animal on school premises. A guy named Robert got caught doing a FFA goat. Yes, he was called Robert until he moved. Free roam hallways. They made turning lanes and lane dividers. Had to walk on the right side and could not turn around. So if your locker was to the left of the classroom you had to walk all the way down the hall to turn around for it. We all made beeping and honking sounds until they let us walk normally. After Michelle Obama happened, no more soda machines for us. I mean, sure, we still got that weird fuse and switch stuff, but it just wasn't the same. Funnily enough, the teacher's lounge still has soda machines. I found that out while helping out at a student government event last year. Boob bubbles. During computer classes we would go on a dirty site that somehow squeezed past the filter, and it had a game called Boob Bubbles. It was like Snood, where you had to shoot boobs at the same colored boobs. Once you cleared all the boobs, it would reveal a picture of a chick with big boobs. Banned because the school sucks and doesn't like boobs. In middle school they banned more than one person going to the bathroom at a time because 2 girls were eating each other out. Hats because administration claimed gang relations in a farm town of 40,000 people. Big TV capacitors. Kids would find these giant capacitors from broken TVs, tie them to a stick and connect 2 wires. You would then charge your weapon by inserting it into a wall electric socket and zap someone from behind. Never want to experience that again. The game Assassin was banned after a while. I can't remember specifically why it was banned. Either someone got hurt running around or the teachers thought the game interfered with school too much, but it was fun while it lasted. This was early 90s. No way you could get away with playing a game like that at school today. Everyone in the game was assigned someone to assassinate, and if you knocked them out you got a new assignment. If someone took you out of the game, they picked up your assignment. The game continued until only one player was left. Possible methods of assassination allowed included shooting with a disc gun, most popular, poisoned drink, putting tons of salt or hot sauce in a Coke, e.g. public displays of affection. They claimed it made our school look untidy. That's code for Sue is in with all her slow friends doing nasty with all the boys. When I was in elementary school, wheelies were at the height of their popularity. The shoes were banned because the Board of Education wasn't about how fluky and sick they were. Slap bracelets. There was a rumor some kid slapped it against someone's throat and the metal cut him and he died. I suspected this was some urban legend, but I'll be damned if it didn't freak me out a bit. Sitting beside kids of the opposite sex. Because, you know, that might lead to boys and girls interacting with each other, which is so against our culture. This motif was so ingrained in us that our teachers punished us, guys, by making them sit beside girls. They didn't do the same for girls because they were cool. I guess they were ahead of their time. After the principal tried to ban fast food, everyone wore graphic tees with French fries on them to off the faculty. Eventually they threatened to suspend people for wearing shorts with any food on them. This was last year, people. Hot dogs in junior high. A girl thought it was a good idea to stuff a hot dog in her vagina, and ended up getting it stuck. Kegs. Students were playing Donkey Kong with them down the stairs of the party dorm. Girls' volleyball teams could not wear the spandex shorts that are typical for any female volleyball player to wear. Why? Because we're in Indiana and women should be ashamed of their bodies. Soda, Coke, root beer, etc., for being unhealthy. Soda vending machines were turned off during school hours and the cafeteria wouldn't sell it anymore. Funny, since the snack machines were still left on during the day. Oh man, so many things. This might date me a little bit. Pogs. They didn't like that it resulted in someone losing something. Pokemon cards. They thought it was a form of child gambling. It was forced underground and actually did become like gambling. Smear the Queer. A football game where you simply tackled the guy with the football knot and tried to hold on to it as long as you could. We yelled "Get the Queer" quite often. I kind of understand this one. Talking loudly lunch. We had this absolutely ridiculous traffic light that would monitor sound levels. If we went a little too loud it would go from green to yellow. If we got even slightly louder to that, It would go red and we lost precious recess time. Snap bracelets. Rumors spread among the parents that someone died snapping them on, which ruined it for everyone. There are loads more. The 90s were a strange time. Edit.